Everyone
I'm
turn the
waving.
camera
Can't
off.
believe
Hello,
it.
everyone.
Shit.
Welcome back
Hello.
to Pints Pitstops, the Motorsport Open Mic podcast, where we still don't have an intro. My name is Shiv. To my left is Lucy. Then to the bottom of me is Prathan. Rohan doesn't have his camera on, even though he did for a split second. Hi, Rohan. There's Oscar, who just entered the meeting room.
Wait,
and
I thought
Manas.
Oscar's not meant to be here. What is he doing here?
Hi, Oscar.
Okay,
We're
guys, I'm
live.
Oscar, I thought you were. Oh, it's a Thai flag. Alex Albon
William.
is staying.
William.
Williams.
Alex
William.
Albon is staying.
Thank you very much. Like, well, why did he have to make a whole debacle over that?
Because
That-
we
that was
thought
a
that
bit of a-
Piastri was going
so
out.
underwhelming.
I mean-
It's notable. It's notable, but unsurprising how they haven't said that it's also your boy Nicky Latifi staying.
Yeah,
in
but
as
why
well.
would he stay in F1?
Is
The
he?
guy
But
just
why would he
crashes, and
stay
if he
there?
doesn't crash, we never
It's
see it. So it's
notable.
like, there's no point.
It's notable that they haven't said Nicky's staying because it means Nicky's probably going, but we knew that anyway because he's shit.
Hey,
My
driver.
Bowl. This is my Super Bowl prediction for this window, and it's not gonna happen. But Hamilton to Williams, Norris to Merck.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
actually,
please,
the-
please,
I'm
please,
into Williams, not
please.
to Merck.
I'm
Yeah,
over
actually,
Prathan's such a
the
legend,
Ferrari.
bro. But that
That's it.
prediction, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 prediction right there.
Okay.
Okay, maybe not the Hamilton to Williams, but I
It's an
still think
amazing
Norris to
prediction.
Merck is a good pipeline. I don't know why. I feel like it's gonna happen.
My
That
actual
is-
thought.
Okay, Norris to Merck, I don't think it's happening, but Hamilton to Williams, please. Please.
So-
I actually
Make
have
this
got a
happen.
few theories though. So I think that we should. Oh, they've said legal right now. Sweating on. I have Williams tweet alerts as well. It says legal right now. So it is. Oh, I love this. Alex Albon's tweet is amazing. I understand that with my agreement, Williams Racing has put out a press release this afternoon that I'm driving for them next
Nice.
year. This is right, and I've signed a contract with Williams for 2023.
Nice.
I will be driving with Williams.
That
What a hero.
Basically, Alex Albon has taken the
Wonderful.
piss out of the whole situation. Oscar,
What
I,
a-
I,
everyone
I
is.
hear you're not driving for Alpine next year, Oscar.
Oh no! I mean, they put out a press release without my permission, and all this shit. But I made time for the podcast, so good
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
mates.
Good.
Barbie on the shrimp and that.
Okay,
What?
Team McMurdoch, go back to career mode.
What did he say?
I've lost my bottle of
Why
water.
did he say Bobby?
Because it's the
It's
Australian thing.
barbecue.
Because he's Australian.
All right,
Oh,
couple
okay.
of things to cover this week. A lot has happened in Formula One, so we need to talk about that. So we just had the live reaction to the Williams news that Alex Albon is staying. Honestly, good choice.
Ferrari sucks.
Yeah, we will talk about that.
Now that Martin's not here, I think I should take his role.
Okay, first of all, two announcements. First of all, happy birthday, Pran's mother. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. And Martin has the Rona. Salute. Hope you're doing well.
I mean, I also have the Rona, but I'm
Yeah,
still here.
yeah. I mean,
Just saying.
Oh,
GGs.
the
Just saying.
dedication.
yeah, that's pretty cool. Oscar is in Spain. Not without the S or the P. He's actually in
the S,
Spain.
the S is there. Don't worry, the S is there. I'm not a Ferrari driver. It's all good.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
No, he's
Oh,
actually staying
rather
over
be
Carlos Sainz
super
too,
clear
so
than
to make sure
Ferrari
he's not
driver.
in Spain without the S.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was supposed to go karting a few days ago. That would have been nice, but we've been doing a lot. So that's on hold. But next time. There's lots of good tracks around here. It's very cool.
For sure. So a couple of things to talk about today. We have the live reaction to the Williams news. We have one of the most surprising driver moves, I think, ever, which is straight out of F1 22 career mode. And that's Fernando Alonso going to Aston Martin. Then we're going to be discussing what's happening with Oscar Piastri. And then finally, about Ferrari's championship hopes. Dwindling faster than Nicholas Latifi's chance to stay in Formula One.
For the 400th time, might I add. I'm sure we've had at least 3 or 4 podcasts titled "Is Ferrari's championship over?"
Yeah.
Because every time it happens, there's like a dwindle of hope, and then Carlos wins a race, and then Leclerc wins a race, and then they just go and remind us that they are Ferrari.
That's not happening.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
Martin.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to fill Martin's seat because that shit herded.
All right. So, a couple of things. Let's kind of talk in order because it's gonna be chaos. First of all, let's go from Lucy, myself, Manas, Pratham, Rohan, and Oscar. Alonso to Aston Martin. What are you guys' thoughts?
So, I've been thinking about it, and when it first came out, I was like, Alonso, what are you doing? It's a very Alonso move, but I actually think it makes sense. So, it makes sense on both sides. Fernando didn't like Otmar that much. They didn't get on. So, it meant that he can get away from that. And yes, they're dwindling, but the fact that they're dwindling means that they have potential to go up, and it is a longer term project. And Fernando, despite being the ripe age of 41, which is the reverse of his race number, which they only have brought up once on his birthday, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. But anyway, so they haven't really done Aston aren't doing very well, but they have the potential. They're investing a lot of money. I do think going into somewhere that's run by Lance and Lawrence is just silly. Like, you're going to be sort of shafted there. Oh, this is just random, but it's a multi-year deal. By the way.
Yeah. I got the same thing as well. I just looked at my phone.
Anyway,
yeah.
So I think that it makes sense on that side, and also it makes massive sense for Aston. They've got rid of Seb, and I cried. I'm not afraid to say I cried. I love Seb.
Yeah.
But for them, it makes sense. They're replacing a multiple-time world champion with a multiple world champion who is old. So if he beats Lance, then it's like, well, he is a multi-world champion. But if he doesn't beat Lance, then it's like, yeah, but look, Lance has beat a multiple-time world champion, and it's a win-win for Lance. And also, a point someone made was, remember Hungary last year, how Alonso basically won Esteban the race. Imagine Lawrence being like, okay, Fernando, can you do that so that Lance is a race winner? How much, like, name your price to do that again so that Lance wins the race?
Yeah.
Let me just interject by saying
Crash
Lance
gate.
as the race winner is never going to be said ever.
He did get a pole
Well, it
position.
will if everyone just crushes off.
Guys.
So
Please.
yeah, I think that it makes sense on both sides.
Yeah.
And also that Alpine have kind of fucked themselves. It's very Fernando is the most shithousery driver ever, so it's a very Fernando move to not tell them. But it's interesting to see what Alpine are going to do now, and it will probably go to the courts, the contract court that the FIA have.
Hi Eddie, how you doing? Hi Luca, how you doing? Sorry, just a couple of people I recognize from the league racing. I do. Okay, Fernando Alonso to Aston Martin. So F1 22 My Team Career Mode is a real thing. First of all, that's all I gotta say. It's an interesting one, and I have a theory why. So, if you're a average Formula One enjoyer like myself, you will remember in 2008, Fernando got offered to drive with the Honda team then, right? So obviously Honda was like kind of low down, and they're like, we're Honda. They had Jenson Button and Rubens Barrichello there. But then 2009, Honda left, and then Ross Brawn slammed the Mercedes engine in there. And then it was like, oh, Brawn GP, right? And then obviously that turned into Mercedes. So if Fernando had accepted that offer, he'd be, maybe a 5 or 6 time world champion. Who knows? But that's one of the main things. It's the potential, to have greatness. Because if you've seen the plans that Aston Martin have in terms of like, they have plans for a test track. They have plans for this big facility, that's already being built, a wind tunnel. They have the best names in the business. They've got, Martin Whitmarsh, who's there. They've got people who are, heads of aerodynamics and whatnot from various teams. All they need now is just that, like, driver, and Alonso and whatever machinery has been consistently able to perform, if that machinery isn't an Indy car. So that's one of the main things. Speaking of, hi Adam. Adam is just joining us right now. In regards to the long term, he also has the capability of extending his contract. So I think that's one of the key things. So that's going to be an interesting one. But it's also like a thing of like, I could snatch greatness one last time, or I could be in the midfield for my last year in F1. So I think that's going to be quite interesting. Moving on to Manas about Fernando's move to Aston Martin. Hi Adam, good to see you, and nice t-shirt.
Honestly, I thought it was appropriate given the occasion and short.
All right.
Yeah, but
And you can see I
Alonso
have a
has
new
to-
office as well.
That's pretty cool.
That's nice.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So for the first one, I actually have my rig as my setup now, so I don't have my room anymore. I have my racing gloves. I also have my Super Aguri cup stuff over here with my
Really?
drink on. Yep, hang on. This is amazing. I know. Sorry for getting
Wow.
a shameless promotion of my Super Aguri gear cog as my drinks coaster. And yes, I have a lot of other stuff on the side. It's still a work in progress, the room, but
Yeah, it looks pretty
yeah,
cool.
you can see it's done. I was just trying to get the microphone set up sorted as well, but if that's actually all right.
No, it sounds really good.
Sounds good.
We've got Manas, Pratham, Rohan, yourself, and then Oscar, who's there. Actually, rather Oscar the first, because he was technically here before you. And then we'll go back to you. But yeah, Manas, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alonso to Aston Martin. Not in when it first came out, I thought crazy move. He's an idiot. Typical Alonso move. But it's not the dumbest career move he's done. Certainly, not the dumbest. But I think as much as Aston Martin, everyone thinks their potential is kind of gone. I feel like as Lucy said and as you said as well, with their future prospects and Lawrence Stroll having his billions, I think could be a good pair for development. And I think Alonso's there for the long term. I think he's gonna race for another like 4 or 5 years to bring Aston Martin to championship winning. So,
That'll be 1,000 IQ move there. Rohan, obviously you're a big Fernando Alonso fan. I'll constantly spam it in all caps in the group chat. What do you think of this move?
Extremely disappointed. Why did he have to go to Aston Martin? Like, it's probably the worst team on the grid. Why did he have to go to Aston? He could have gone anywhere else. Like, generally, it's probably the worst decision he's ever made. I don't think you're going to see him on the podium again. I don't think he might even, to be fair, might have even seen him in the top 5 again. I mean, it's kind of disappointing. Hopefully, he goes somewhere else after Aston. Like, hopefully, something bad happens. He just goes to, like, I don't know, McLaren or something. But I don't think it's a good move. I mean, he is old now. I guess he's on his decline, but I'd much rather have him leave F1 than join Aston Martin. Like, genuinely, that is an insult to
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. That's a bold statement. Pratham, what's up?
I kind of agree with Rohan here. It's a
Good
stupid
man.
move. It's a stupid move to go to Aston Martin, but it's great for Aston Martin. But then again, it is Aston Martin, so
The one good thing about
you give Aston Martin Hamilton. You give Aston Martin a pairing of Hamilton and Verstappen, they'll manage to finish 6th. Like, it's not. I really don't think. Like, it's a good move for Fernando in the sense that get the bread.
Oh, yes.
Lawrence
Brett.
probably like sending him a fat paycheck. But yeah, I don't. It's not even like a sideways move. It's a backwards move. Unless, of course, there's something that like Aston's brewing that no one knows about, like I don't know, Braun GP style. But
like Lance Stroll out of Aston Martin.
sorry.
Like Lance Stroll leaving Aston Martin.
No.
Impossible.
No, that's not gonna happen.
No chance.
Lance Stroll to Aston Martin is what No, it's just Lance Stroll to Aston Martin. That's it. Can't really compare it to anything.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I just think the brand is in a big mess. Like, the funding from their old cars is not happening. The entire brand is failing. No one's buying their cars, which then means they don't have much money to put into the F1 program. I don't care what
Yeah,
it's
but-
about Lawrence Stroll being a billionaire. No, billionaires are smart people. They're not going to keep throwing money at something if there's no return coming. And clearly, there's no
Billionaires
return
and
coming
smart
because
people is billionaires and smart people is probably not the best thing to say.
no, like
But,
if you, it's very common
I
sense.
agree
If you're
with Rohan
investing
there.
so much money into something, you want something back. But all you're getting is F1 drivers roasting the safety cars for being too slow because they're Aston Martins. No one buying their
I
own
mean-
cars because they suck, and also the F1 team just being a big mess. That is like, but you have Sebastian Vettel driving for you, and you still don't finish in the top 5 ever. And you're literally competing with the new, like you're literally the new horse of Formula One. It's like a big disappointment at the moment with Aston Martin.
Jeez.
You're saying that billionaires want something back from the team that they're like pouring money into. What you're failing to consider is that Lawrence Stroll might have a Findom thing going on. Sorry,
What? Wait, what?
no one understood that. My bad. forget
He's
about that.
implying
Are you saying he's
that
purposely
Lawrence
trying to go
Stroll
bankrupt?
has some kind of fetish for paying people money.
Oh.
Thank
Well,
you.
Lawrence, my PayPal is in your inbox.
I'll send him a donation.
Speaking
I
of
mean,
us,
genuinely, even Oscar can't defend Aston Martin. The only thing he says
Well,
is
I'm
sound
about
good, which
to,
isn't even
motherfucker.
true.
okay.
If Fernando Alonso stays with Aston Martin for 5 years, he's going to be a world champion.
Okay, he's gonna be 46. Did
I
you
agree.
consider that as well?
That's not becoming
He's
world
He's
champion.
already 41. I can see him staying
I
there
agree with
for at
Oscar.
the very
Remember
least
the
3
oldest
years.
the oldest world champion was 47. It was
I-
Fangio.
But he wasn't driving for Aston
I wasn't-
Martin, was he?
He was
I have
driving for
not a
Maserati.
doubt in my mind.
Maserati
think
is like back then was actually good. Same
I-
way Aston Martin was actually good like 100 years ago. Not anymore.
In 2008, okay, but in 2008, how good were Honda? They were pretty.
Yeah, Honda, not Aston Martin.
No, but I'm saying that
again,
Honda...
just
I'm shutting up now.
Oh.
I think that you look at the card hold fact card hold hold hard
What?
cold hard cold fact, not the card hold facts, the card fuck the facts. Look at the facts.
Bro,
Okay,
it's so bad that he
I
can't even
genuinely
speak.
don't think. Yes, exactly.
Fact.
Lucy.
Fact.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Fucking look at Aston Martin. I don't think within the next 4 years, 3 years, I think Aston Martin will be just behind Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull, and maybe even not even Red Bull in terms of their facilities. Got the new sex fucking campus that they've built. They've got so much money. They've got all this shit, all the learnings from having
You
Seb,
guys have
who,
too
as
many
we
things
know,
on your
is
mind.
Yeah.
as we know, Seb is everything. I genuinely think Aston Martin will be the next Mercedes within the next 5 or 6
Oscar,
years.
you know the
And I
new
think
factory
Fernando
you're
Alonso
talking
is
about?
coming out of it. No. Campus.
Then
The
the factory
whole
you're talking
thing.
about, there's a fire
Not-
at the
not
factory,
just
just to
the
let you know.
Right.
There's a fire. I don't give a shit. There's a fire in an F40 in Monaco. You shut up.
Yeah, that's Ferrari.
fucking-
Like, look at how Ferrari's doing in the championship. My point exactly.
I'm trying to think, but there's just a gnawing noise on my frontal cortex.
Wow.
And the annoying noises go on.
I've lost my point, but my point is Fernando Alonso stays there for 5 years. He's going to be a 3-time world champion because Aston Martin are on the up, and that's it. I think Lawrence Stroll has a lot of money, and I think the brand is doing well in Formula One. People like it. I said people. Not necessarily one person in this call, but people as a whole enjoy the brand Aston Martin. It's
Two
a
Lance
good
Stroll
brand.
fans.
I don't
on
get it,
Twitter.
right? Their team is meant to be the higher end AMG, not just the F1 team, but like their road cars as well. But actually, you're paying more for a car that's worse. Same way as F1, you're supporting.
I would like to
You're
remind you,
supporting a
this
brand
is
that's
the
actually worse
F1.
than AMG. So you might
This
as well
is the
just support AMG
F1
itself.
team.
Yes.
We're talking about the
Yeah,
F1
exactly. So you
team,
might as well
man.
support
Yes.
AMG.
Or
Like,
Yes.
Formula Uno.
everyone's like, oh wow, guys, look at the Aston safety cars. But what's the point when everyone is going so slowly that the tires go cold?
Yeah,
Like, genuinely, at that
apparently.
point, it's so
Can
boring.
I comment about that before we move on to Adam? And by the way, guys, please, a little bit of volume, you know. But apparently, and this is annoyingly annoyingly backing up Rohan. They said Burt Mylander said that he's pushing the Aston Martin safety car, and then people who are leading there, it's like, oh, tires too cold, mate, you know. But yeah, in conclusion,
For a car that costs more than an AMG, I should just reiterate, it costs more than an AMG for some
in
reason.
conclusion, oh, you know what? You got Pranav so angry. He went from his mother's birthday, and he's in the waiting room.
Is he in the?
Okay, bye guys, bye. It was nice seeing you today.
Right.
Good
I'm
time,
going to put my
Brad.
staunch defense out there. Right. So, facilities. They are building world-class facilities that they're going to be using. You've got
Is
to
that gonna catch
understand
fire?
that the staff are not used to building good cars with a lot of budget. They are used to building cars that, are solid on the pace on some weekends and not on others. Like,
You've got to think about the fact that these staff members have run on such small margins for years now, years. So you can't just expect them to suddenly flip a switch and then be world championship material in 1 year. That's unrealistic as hell. So what you need to understand is that this is a long-term project for Aston Martin. This is no short-term deal, all right? So from that front, you have to give them time because you need time as a Formula One outfit. How long have Ferrari and Mercedes been in the sport to be this good? 50 years.
Mercedes. Yeah.
Hey,
Like
Brian,
that.
did you know
Yeah,
it took
Mr. Mercedes took
Hi,
Like,
Charles
4
Leclerc.
years.
How you doing? You're right.
like bias aside, Rohan, you need to think about the track. I don't
Hey,
care
Brian.
how much you like the cars and whatnot. You have to think about the bare bones facts and thinking, okay, Aston Martin have a good long-term project. They have drivers that are able to do it. Like they've hired Fernando Alonso. He has dragged cars that don't deserve to be in the top two first places consistently. You saw
Okay.
in a
2012.
Can I just say,
McLaren
you
Honda.
guys are saying Fernando Alonso's going to change
obviously they have a
everything.
ballast with Lance Stroll, but that's another problem.
Oh,
No,
Dallas,
do you
oh my
remember,
god.
do you remember Fernando
Wow.
used to be part of McLaren, right? And McLaren has this whole massive facility, everything, F1 dedicated, everything, but did they win the championship? No. Did they finish on the podium?
He
No,
he
not
came
really.
second.
Did they do-
Rohan, shush.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about championships when you've been Force India, Spiker. You don't think
Racing
about
Point,
that right now.
But
Think
Midland,
about
Austria said they're going to be world
Jordan.
champions in 4 years. What are you
what
saying?
else? What other names are there?
Like, you think like you get a hard on when you're talking about Red Bull, right?
Yeah, because who won the drivers' championship last
for them
year?
to get to this position.
Oh,
How many
Lewis.
This
years?
is Hamilton
They
won the
started
drivers'
in
Lewis,
championship.
yeah, Lewis.
2004.
yeah.
No, Lewis Hamilton
Red
did
Bull
not win the
started-
championship last year. Stop being salty. Max Verstappen was the world champion.
Look,
Mm.
Red Bull,
in my end.
they started in 2004, 2006, whatever. Okay, it took them 4 years, 4 to 6 years, to get anywhere close to the world championship.
5
And
years
if you're
to win a
thinking
race.
that Aston
and
Martin
come
can match
second
that in 2, then you're dreaming. You are dreaming.
Yeah.
I never
I'm
said they're going
sorry,
to match him in 2
but
years, but
you have
Austria
such
claims they're going to win in 4
unrealistic
years, which they aren't.
expectations due to your stupid ass car bias.
Guys,
But
we
you
need
need
to
to
we need
relax,
to get
man.
Adam's opinion
to
on
move
this.
on.
He's just been sitting here.
I can hear.
I have
Oh,
to go back to my mum's
fantastic.
birthday celebration, so I'll be in the
Happy
Twitch chat,
birthday
yeah?
to your mom.
Thank you, Fran.
GG,
Salute.
GG, Fran.
Look
Couldn't
at
have put
that.
it better myself.
Well
Later.
done. Well done. This
Incredible.
is fucking brilliant.
Legend.
Incredible.
Lucas
Okay,
says.
now that Fran's gone, I should continue.
Wait. Okay.
Oh,
Adam, no, Adam, please go.
Yeah, I
Adam.
was joking.
Please, he's been waiting.
Ozzy has just literally been chilling here, like letting everyone go, oh, this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
But it's just like being silent here. I mean, like obviously to make it clear, I have absolutely nothing to do with the Alpine F1 team, even though I'm obviously a part of the esports team.
Mhm.
We have there was no connection, but like on the whole thing, I kind of said yesterday to a few of the guys. I know it seemed a little bit weird with that statement after a while, and why it was announced in the morning. But what I think is going to happen at the minute is we're going to see another Plo case with Piastri. But I think generally what's happened is Alonso, to be honest, it seems like the management has not seen Piastri's contract deadline. They've missed it. And then Piastri was talking to McLaren beforehand because there wouldn't be a reason why he would be battling so hard. Now he's got a seat to go over to another team. So I think Alpine have missed the deadline and screwed that up. But then the tail end of this is if Piastri's obviously got a contract with McLaren for next year, but if Ricciardo's got a valid contract and that, they were saying all these break clauses in the contract, but if Ricciardo's got the fate of his contract, then I think that's a big stumbling block. So that puts Piastri in even bigger shit. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I think if the alternatives are if as well Ricciardo doesn't want to come back here, go back to Alpine, then it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because there's not really many options they've got left, maybe apart from going for Zhu, who's obviously a part of the former academy. And then you've got I think it's like Renault have got some Chinese thing, like some agreement, or what they do is go for Ocon's favorite enemy, Pierre
Gasly.
Gasly.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be toxic.
Gasly.
That'll be the one thing that we can
I don't think they
that
hate
we've been
each other
waiting
anymore.
for.
They're not necessarily enemies, though. Like, they're not
I
necessarily
don't think they
enemies
hate
anymore.
I don't think they hate each other anymore. I think they're fine now. I think that would make so much sense for Alpine to do. Like, get 2 French drivers in, save Pierre from Helmut Marko, and
Nah, but
like,
honestly, though, there's no hatred there anymore.
Really?
No,
They've been
I think
they've been apart
they've been
too long
friends for a
them
while.
to hate each other.
Yeah.
I think
Like,
it's
I
I
think
think
they
it,
know-
by now at least.
But they know each
think-
other's families and stuff. Like, I mean, they've lived through the worst of the junior category together. So
Yeah.
you know, it makes sense. And for 2 French drivers to be in a French team, it makes sense. Like,
I think as well
just
we've
the case
got
of right now.
the Alpha
is
Romeo
that
promote
Rick
Porsche.
Best-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because the thing is, though, with this at the minute, if we've got obviously Alpine looking for a driver, if obviously, oh, actually, that's a good thing. The thing is that would only if Zhou obviously moves back to Alpine, then Porsche would
Zhou.
come up.
Mhm.
So he's had, I think it's 2 and a bit seasons in F2 now.
I mean,
If you're going into
Zhou's
the
been very impressive for his rookie
Zhou's-
season.
but then Zhou did used to be an Alpine junior,
Yeah, he did. He did.
so
Yeah,
it would
he
make
did, yeah.
sense for him
But-
to go. But
So
I just
no,
I
but
can't see it happening.
Joe's nowhere near experienced enough for Alpine. I can
Yeah.
guarantee you that.
yeah,
He's shown some promise,
Then how is
but
Oscar as
it'll be
well?
another 1 or 2 years
because he's
until
done
he
the
goes
testing,
into a factory
I
setup.
guess.
Yeah, it'll take a little while.
So
I will tell you that.
So I have two things, 2 questions I want everyone to answer in order, right? Number 1, where do you think Oscar is gonna end up? What team? And number 2, and this is like very circumstantial. Is he worth replacing Daniel Ricciardo for? That's my question, right? So starting off with Lucy, where do you think Oscar Piastri is gonna end up?
So I think he is going to McLaren.
Yeah.
I have got other theories. I think there's a chance that he could be taking Yuki's seat, because I think that if he took Yuki's seat, he could then go into Checo's seat once Checo's contract runs out, and that would be a natural progression, which would be better than Alpine. The other thing is if he's gone to Williams to replace Nicky, he could be sort of thinking that he will then go and replace Lewis. Those are the only 3 seats I can see him taking that are better than Alpine. So it's either McLaren, Williams with an option to go and replace Lewis when he retires, or AlphaTauri with an option to replace Checo when Checo's contract runs out.
I mean, it's
I mean, I personally agree a lot with the Williams suggestion.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a natural thing. Williams is a team that needs the younger, like, that's talented and quick. I mean,
Yeah.
pretty clear from seeing Latifi that, you know, he's dragging them down. They need a fresh head.
Yep, I would agree. I mean, it's an interesting one with Oscar Piastri because obviously, you know, he had his Alpine contract, and honestly, I think Alpine are in a much better place than McLaren at the moment. You know, I think that, you know, like Renault, Alpine, Lotus. You know, they've always consistently been in the midfield from their time in F1. You know. So I think that, you know, Alpine is the real stable option, because McLaren, I feel like, fluctuates so much, you know? Like they were 2018 they were like what, 6th, then 2019 they were 4th,
Decent.
or in
No,
the
2020 they were decent.
2020 they were
decent.
3rd.
2021 they were decent.
was 4th. Yeah, so 2020 was 3rd.
They're on the up.
Yeah. So they were
They
going
had
up.
that third, but
They were going up, but obviously the main thing is that is obviously, like, would you risk it? Because I think McLaren are so like yeah, sure, they've gotten some stability with Andrea Seidel and Zach Brown at the helm, but if I was Oscar Piastri, I would take the Alpine, because they're consistently there,
I'll add an extra point into this as well that links, is that as well with Alpine, you're not a customer team. If that Mercedes engine's not that good,
Yeah.
you at least get development on your own engine as well.
Yeah.
And I think what I know Alpine might have not made the jump up, but as well, not gonna lie, Oscar's gonna potentially be the number one driver at Alpine as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna hide the fact. I think that Oscar's making a huge mistake by leaving. Well, not even giving Alpine the chance, because I get how good McLaren is, but as you said, they've got 6 other drivers that still need to figure out what to do. Because with IndyCar, if you bring that into it,
Yeah.
you still got Rosenquist, because they've now got 4 drivers:
Palou,
Award,
They're
Rosenquist.
allowed to have
Moffitt.
4. You can have 4 cars.
Colton
in
Herta.
IndyCar.
Colton Herta
But
as well.
remember that Rosenquist did do very well in Formula E, so there's a decent chance he'll go to their FE team, in my opinion.
I mean,
can you actually have 4 cars in IndyCar? I thought it was only a limit to 3.
You can have as many as you want as long as you pay for them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, as long as there's also engines to kind of go around as well, because there's like the Chevy and the Honda. But then I think
there's an unlimited engine supply in IndyCar.
I think personally, Oscar Piastri, it's such a slim chance he'll go to McLaren, but I mean, wow, is he that talented to replace Daniel? Like Daniel's he's not doing the best this season, but he's established. You're gonna take a risk on a rookie, and I hate to say this, it's gonna pain me to say this. The last rookie McLaren had who won the GP2 championship, my favorite driver, who's currently leading the Formula E standings, didn't do so well.
Waffle boy.
Stoffel Van Dorn. And it's a shame to admit it, because like Jolyon Palmer, who is Renault's, technically from his academy, last graduate, who also won GP2, which is F2, right? Didn't do so well, So I'm like, if you're gonna put, you're gonna risk, that, I have to go to Alpine. Honestly, I think Oscar, his best bet, go to Williams, learn. It's not the best team, but learn, kind of thing. And you're up against Alex Albon, who's a good driver,
Underrated.
Very underrated. Okay.
But I think Esteban Ocon's also underrated. If you look at his teammates,
100%.
his teammates are all like, he's had Checo, Danny Rick.
Yeah.
But Verline, ignore Verline. That was
Verline is good. Verline is good. He's very
Verline
good.
is very
Ocon
good.
is literally a race winner, and people tend to forget it. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean,
like his teammates have
people
all been
tend to
multiple race
underestimate him
winners.
so much. Like
Race winner in Alpine.
they don't see his actual pace. Like he's been so consistent throughout this season.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand why people don't appreciate his talent. To be honest with you.
So just from the chat, right? A lot of people are saying. So Liam is saying Oscar Piastri is going to go to McLaren, and De Vries will go to Williams, or as Liam says, the Willie. And then Luca from Canada says Logan Sargent to Williams. And then Liam said Ricardo will either go to Alpine or go home, because Otmar Zafnauer has said there's no problem with Daniel coming back. I
don't believe that after the last day or two, considering they don't know where Alonso is.
Yeah.
Or
Alonso just just thumbs up.
Alonso fully has gone to. They thought he was in Greece. Turns out he's actually in Spain.
So
remember that the way that Alonso's timed this, he's timed it so that I think I read something the day where he timed it so that he announced he was leaving Alpine.
Yeah.
The day after Piastri's contract.
Yeah, it's like the most cheeky thing ever.
Cheeky fucker.
It's such a long.
And they had no idea. And they had no idea until the press release. It's just so Fernando, and I love it.
It's
he just did his little.
Yeah.
I love Alonso. The thing is, though, I'm gutted. Obviously, Alonso's left because for Alpine, he's obviously not the face of it. But I think obviously there was in the tricky position where it was obviously promote Piastri, or we have to stick Alonso around. And I think they've just dithered around for too long, and now they've lost both of them. They couldn't make up their mind, and that's what's happened.
But
I think the biggest real trigger to all this, though, was Logan Sargent's performances in FT, because if Piastri had that clear shot to that Williams seat would have been sorted long ago. But you can tell Williams obviously have been thinking about Sargent, and I think that blocked the thing off. So then Alpine have been like, I don't know what to do. They couldn't make up their minds, and then this has happened.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Because, I mean, I believe that why they announced Oscar Piastri without telling him, like, I think it's just a power move. Like they tried to make it as if oh yeah, like the talks with other teams won't have gone that far. Don't worry, he'll join us anyway because we're his only option. Not realizing that Oscar Piastri has Mark Webber as an agent, who's got so many connections and he's willing to do everything to give his drivers the position that
And he's
they
got
want.
Ricardo support as well. He's got Ricardo support as well.
You have to realize that Alpine tried to play Oscar Piastri and they ended up playing themselves and the entire team. Because what has happened is they've lost the two-time world champion and they've lost the Formula 2 champion that was in their academy. Like it was just a power move that backfired on them immediately.
Just to insert like a DJ Khaled clip. Just congratulations, you played yourself. You know.
Exactly.
Manas,
Exactly.
to you.
Yeah, I think PS3 most likely will go to either McLaren or Williams, but I think Williams slightly a far shot. I think Williams would not want to replace Latifi with.
Thank you, Danny Bino, for the follow. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you.
Rohan?
Oh, Danny. Oh, I know him. He's nice.
Yeah.
It would most likely go with Nick DeVries, probably, unless he goes. But I think he's definitely going to McLaren. Most likely place. An outside shot would be AlphaTauri.
Oh yeah.
Racing Sonoda, and Sonoda goes to Alpine, and then Ricardo stays where he is, and that would just be a far shot. But I think most likely is McLaren because he's like clearly stated in his tweet that I'm not racing for Alpine next year.
That
It's
is.
quite
firm
racist.
on
I mean,
that, so
you've taken silly season for another level, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say.
Everyone's just waiting at this point. Rohan, what are your thoughts?
On the whole Alpine thing,
Where's?
well, I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Where's Oscar gonna go to, and what do you think he's?
I honestly think McLaren, right? Because look, he's got Ricardo's support, as I said. He's got Webber's support. So obviously, the obvious choice, if you're skipping Alpine, has to be a better team. Now there aren't many better teams, to be fair, but I'd say McLaren would be one of those teams, especially because of their long-term potential. I mean, as you said, they do have a kind of up and down track record of sometimes being on the pace completely, but then sometimes doing the literal horse of F1. So I think that it's a move for the long term. I don't think McLaren's going to be competitive this year, maybe even next year, but I think McLaren will be back in the game soon, and Oscar would definitely want to be there. I mean, if we can challenge Lando, that would be a big statement, right? Because if we see Oscar literally challenging Lando like mad, then I think then he can really get his name out there. Whereas if he goes to Alpine and challenges Ocon, I know you guys say he's underrated and stuff, but challenging Ocon just doesn't sound as big of a deal as Norris. So that's the logic I think of him going to. That's the logic that I'm applying of him going to McLaren. I don't see him going anywhere else. So that's the thing. And no other team really has an opening as such. Like Red Bull is not going to replace anyone. Mercedes is not going to unless Hamilton. Ferrari, no.
No.
I mean,
I'd be
Ferrari's a whole
unemployed
different
rather than
case
go to
at the minute.
That's
But
a
I
whole
would just like
can
to
of worms.
reply to Danny in the chat. He said, I don't know why everyone is saying Oscar to McLaren when Daniel has said he's staying. So Otmar said, or I don't think Otmar said, I'm pretty sure he did, but when Alonso left, when he was announcing he went to Aston, I read in an article that a lot of drivers called up Otmar for a seat, and Daniel was one of them.
Really?
So that is kind of, yeah, I don't know if I can cite the source right now, but Daniel was one of the people. And of course, Otmar has responded by saying, yeah, we would love to have Daniel back.
I mean,
So, it's clear he doesn't have a contract.
honestly, like Daniel had so much success in the Renault. I think that would be good. You know,
It's a good fit.
it's a good fit. He'll get used to the car finally. You know.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts
Maybe
then, Adam?
he'll get to Q3.
Shut the fuck up. So what do you think, Adam?
God, I think what we're gonna see is a courtroom decide this.
This is pure Jensen Button, Honda, and Williams. You know, like back in the day. Oscar, what do you reckon?
Oh, I was gonna say I was just gonna
What
add
do I
one.
reckon?
Sorry.
I was gonna add one thing to mine. Sorry.
No, it's-
I think though Piastri, McLaren, Alpine, I'm gonna go Gasly. I
Ooh.
don't think Ricciardo's gonna go back. However, if I had to have one choice, this might sound a bit controversial at the minute, but hear me out. I think Yuri Vips potentially.
That's a good shot. Actually.
Oof.
Fuck Yuri Vips. He should not be in
Fuck
F1.
Yuri
If he
Vips.
was in
I
F1,
completely
No,
No,
but
no.
agree.
he's a talented driver aside from his.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
but he stinks.
You can't say
Stinky.
things like that and then be
I-
allowed
I-
to.
I
I'm-
don't think
I'm
any
ju- I'm just
F1
gonna- I'm
team
just
would
gonna-
do
I'm
some
just gonna put it this
suicide
way.
there.
If Dan
It
Tick-
completely undermines everything F1 are currently doing about safety and about online and not saying stuff online. If Yuri Vips gets a seat, it completely undermines all of that work that they're doing.
Yeah,
if
but it's
Dan
not
Tick-
like
Also, I
Mazepin is
don't-
almost ethical driver either, though.
if Dan Ticktum's allowed to race, then
And
you know-
Mazepin, you forgot
But
Mazepin.
saying the N word is
Exactly.
slightly worse than what.
Oh,
Dan
I mean,
Tick
I don't
So it's
think
worse. Okay, so
Tictum
you're
or
saying
I don't think
the
Tictum or
N-word is
Mazepin
worse
should
than
be.
Mazepin did. He literally assaulted someone.
No one's saying that. Mazepin is so much worse, but Yuri Vips still sucks.
Mazepin
anyway,
was
worse.
Guys.
getting
But
off
Mazepin
political-
was-
Guys.
getting off political stuff. He's not in he's not attached to the Rebel Academy anymore because Marco said last week that all
He is
cooperation
attached to
has
the
ended.
Red
I think he is, right? No?
No,
I
he's out.
understand.
No,
Wow.
they
There was
changed
an
their mind
article.
again.
There was an article
I
from
understand,
Horner
like-
saying he had some mental connection stuff, but then Marco said last week, I think it was like July 20th, in an article that all of cooperation with Vips had ended, and due to not the interesting part, global trends, that's why he's out.
Wow.
Marco's a
But
shithead.
it would be
Doubly
an
Marco in
interesting.
this situation, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, well
I
done.
fucking hate him.
It'd just be an interesting one because I think with him at the minute, all the Red Bull Junior drivers, I think only Iwasa is really the one who's now took the step up to perform, and I think it
Dejan
would be.
Daruvalla.
Yeah, Salah plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like with AlphaTauri, if Al Gasly was gonna go, if they thought one of them was good enough, they would have booted Gasly out a long time ago to put one of them in the
Yes.
seat. So
Yeah.
there you
Yeah.
go. But I think that's just my opinion. But like, I think obviously Vips has still got something in there because I mean, like this season he's shown he's got the pace. I mean, Baku he put it in the wall. That was his own fault.
Mm.
He's got the pace, but he just needs the consistency and like.
Is it this
all I
his
say is-
second or third year in F2 at this point?
Second a bit, I think,
Okay.
because he was with Lawson last year. Then he had a brief. He's kind of, I think, he's the same amount of time as Paul Scher.
Yeah.
But I don't. But I just think though, if I think it was just Red Bull, if Red Bull didn't think of him obviously that highly,
Yeah.
then they wouldn't have made him the reserve driver in the first place.
But guys, Felipe Dragovic. All I
That's
gotta
what
say.
I was saying.
Aw.
Yeah.
I was just about to say,
And
yeah.
also, does
Highly
Vip,
doubt it.
Vip doesn't have a super license. He doesn't have the points, and he won't get the points this year because he's too shit.
Yeah. Felipe
Yeah,
Dragovic.
there's,
Yeah.
there's,
I
there's
mean-
still four rounds to go.
I
with
think
8
no, but
races.
Yeah.
also
You have
like,
to do
no F1 team would do career suicide like that. Not career, but reputation
mean,
suicide like that.
You remember Haas?
Yeah, Haas.
Those
Haas
guys.
did.
They managed. they managed.
But no other team is
Um,
in that much financial trouble like Haas was.
Well, also Red Bull's not in financial trouble, and Helmut Marko still says things.
Mm.
That's
Helmut Marko's a
paramount.
shithead,
That's
we all know
paramount to
that.
suicide.
He needs to retire, man.
Yeah.
Helmut
needs to- he needs to
Marko
take a step
needs
back.
to be left in Austria when he should have been left in Austria.
Needs
with
to
the
go back
Austrian
to his
government.
home.
Honestly, like some of the things that he said over the past few weeks have been really quite repulsive. And I just can't. I can't do it.
Understatement.
Like it's crazy. But no, I
mean, that's
a bit
that's like
like
me
what
saying,
Shiv just said about
Felipe
about
Dragovic.
Drogovic.
Yeah.
Drogovic, Porsche,
Mm.
Porsche.
I think the only thing
and,
Porsche,
you know,
Sauber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that-
but
I mean,
Sauber have.
there's that, but
but
I think
Sauber
other than-
have got thingy. They have Joe, and Joe
have
was
Joe.
an Alpine junior. So you're effectively, if
Normally.
you swap the two round, swap Joe
I-
from Alpine. It's effectively they swapped. They put an Alpine junior in the Sauber and a Sauber junior in the Alpha. If they put Porsche in with Teo, and also it fulfills the two French people in Alpine type thing.
Yeah,
I mean-
exactly. That was my thing. I was thinking if Pourchaire does end up anywhere, and I really hope he does because I think Théo Pourchaire is fantastic. I really hope it would be with Alpine because two French drivers, even they got the one French driver, why not have two? And Pourchaire's just awesome. I mean, this weekend's race,
Mm-hmm.
he's doing really good. It's
Yeah.
really good. I enjoyed it. But for Piastri, I think the most likely thing is McLaren, but I can see him going back on Alpine, like
Yeah.
I just discussing the contract and then deleting a tweet within the next few days.
Yeah.
But
Eh,
I don't know. It's really hard to predict right now. I don't. Williams as well is another one,
Yeah.
but I'm not 100% sold on it. I mean Logan. I don't know if Logan Sargent will make it this year. He's not got the super license points. It'll be a bit
It's
of a
his first year in
squeeze.
F2, right? Logan Sargent.
Yeah. Last year he was
Yeah.
in F3.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's doing very well. He's got an FP1 session with Williams
At
in USA.
Kota, yeah. Well done.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's pretty swag.
Mm.
So I can see him in the future, but I can also see Williams because that's the thing. Because they have Logan Sargent waiting in the wings. Do they then go with him and potentially lose Piastri, or do they keep Nicky as a placeholder for another year and then go with Logan the next year?
Yeah.
Or do they put Piastri in for the 1 year, hope a seat opens up and sell him out to someone else? There's so much shit going on right now. And I love silly season. And it's stressing me out.
I have I have one thing to say. And this is before I move on to Pran. Jack Aitken coming back to finally fill his Williams reserve driver role. Pran, to you.
Not happening. Not
Yeah,
happening.
I know.
He's too comfortable in WEC and.
We said that about Kevin Magnussen.
That sounds
what
very
happened.
similar to he's so comfortable in IMSA.
Yeah, but I mean, he had his chance in F1. He had one race, so come on.
Yeah, he had
Remember
one
last
race
season,
and then
dedication decision. Don't
he had
just make
one
decisions
race
like
and
that anymore.
made Russell lose one, so it's all good.
Oh well.
We can't hear you, Lucy. You're muted. But
I just said thanks, Jack.
no worries.
For borrowing George's car and then making him lose the race.
It's actually the pit crew because they got a mixed tire set.
Yeah.
So
But
Pran,
it was Jack Haykins Williams that he got a puncture off.
Pran, to you.
Wait, what?
Uh,
Oh, right. Okay. So,
wow.
sorry, I'm a bit out of yeah. Sorry. So Piastri is probably, I say Williams, in my opinion,
Yeah.
just because it makes most sense. I mean, Williams they have seen a need to remove Latifi just on the back of his disappointing performances. Alex Albon can bring the car to at least a point-playing position, whereas Latifi keeps fighting like 16th place and staying there for the entirety of it. And it's just a case of right now, I believe Williams is at his wit's end. So it's kind of thinking, right, like, okay, how can we maximize the performance of our team? And also, how can we bring about the next rising star and help them to succeed? Because Williams have done that. They've gone and done that several times. Like, they picked up a young, like, prepubescent Jensen Button and turned him into, like, the smooth, clean, clinical driver that he is.
Yeah, the one who
So-
flipped Pascal Verlaine on his side. I remember her Jensen Button.
It's just a case of, and the 2009 World Championship. Sit down, Shiv. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, Piastri's got that flair about him. He's got the consistency, and in F1, it's key to have consistency, because it's all well and good scoring a P8 every once in a while, but I believe that Piastri could score a solid P10, P9, P8.
So
Maybe not every race, but like maybe half the races, and give Williams a little bit more of a stead in terms of the championship standard.
Hakkinen
Yeah,
can
I'd say
come
Williams.
out of his sabbatical and
Yes.
race for race from
I
Yes!
agree with that.
Yes!
Uh,
Please!
so
If that happens, that'll be the end of the world, dude.
So, couple of things. Final topic: Ferrari's championship. Next year. Next year's our year, guys. It's over. I mean, let's kind of go in order, but yeah. Well, what do you think about Ferrari's championship, Lucy? Glimmer of hope, or is that's it?
I feel like legitimately I could do a better job than a strategist. And that's not just me being like, oh, it's legitimately every single person watching at home could see that the hards was stupid, and yet they still did it. And like people saying, yeah, they didn't need to do an alternative strategy to beat George. It like I love George more than anything. I literally have his face on my chest right now. I wish.
What?
But,
Yeah.
but
What?
like I'm making a funny joke about my t-shirt. I'm sorry that you're not smart enough to understand. Anyway, so basically Ferrari, like they didn't need to do an alternative strategy to cover off George because he's not as fast as them. Ferrari were the fastest that weekend. If it weren't for George being George and doing a worldie of a lap in quali, they would have had a 1-2 in qualifying. They were clearly the fastest car, but they put on the hards and they became absolute dog shit. So it was clear to all of us, like you could see other cars that had gone onto the hards. There were multiple cars that had gone onto the hards before them, and they had all gone crap. So why they thought, oh yes, let's do this slowest strategy. They could have, like, the hards were worse than doing soft. Like soft pit stop soft would have been quicker than hard, with like very obviously. So there were options. They just wanted to cover off Verstappen and they panicked. And I think that's the issue. And honestly, I looked up someone looked at the Ferrari strategy guy. He's been there since 2014. I don't know how many of Mattia Binotto's nudes he has, or like what other stuff he has, like leverage on Ferrari. But how he's still employed by them, I don't understand.
Wow.
Because next year will be his year, you know.
That is bold. Okay. So
Next year will be his year. That's why, Lucy. Next year will be his year.
So Manas disappears.
Oh,
and
also,
Bran is
actually,
spinning.
tiny thing I can say. If it hadn't, if you'd swapped the team, so if it was Lewis at Ferrari with the keep the cars like Seb with his car, but with the Mercedes strategy team in 2017-18, he would have beaten Lewis.
Oh yeah.
It's Ferrari strategy that fucks him
100%.
over. 100%.
I think like okay, just touching on that, like Seb was like a bit over ambitious sometimes, you know, during his Ferrari tenure. Obviously had the pressure of the Scuderia and stuff like that, which is just no fault of his own. But yeah, that's one of the main things. In regards to Ferrari's championships, ironically, it's at Spa that we're going to, and obviously they won 3 races in a row in 2019: Spa, Singapore, and Monza. Actually, no, Spa, Monza, and Singapore. So unless they have that, those 2019 engine upgrades again, I don't see it happening. I mean,
Well, no, that went.
yeah, it's so painful because, like at the start of every season, it's like, oh my God, Ferrari, they're back, you know, and everyone starts to hum the Italian national anthem, and it's like, oh, Ferrari are dominant, like at Bahrain, at Australia, and then the signs start to show, and I'm just like, you guys are the most successful team. Like, sure, some of it is luck, you know, like there was a Russian spy called Vitaly Petrov that was constantly blocking Fernando Alonso in 2010, at Abu Dhabi, and then in 2012, obviously like Fernando had that big crash. And actually, speaking of that, Fernando said, I'd rather have that big crash happen and lose that 3rd World Championship in 2012 than be dead. So, like, because obviously there wasn't the halo at the time, but yeah, I think unless they can bring an upgrade, that's it, you know. And then Red Bull has to have like very bad luck, you know, like very very bad luck. Even if they come 1-2 every race, it's not even gonna lead to a title decider because Verstappen just has to finish second, and who's to say the engine won't go boom and stuff like that? So I don't know. I mean, next year's our year, I guess. Hopefully, painfully, yeah, Manus.
Okay, so Ferrari title hopes. Non-existent. I think the championship is completely over. Unless Red Bull's engine decides to go poof a couple of times, I think even then they're
I think it's going to have to
very
be
out
more
of
than a
reach.
couple, mate.
Yeah, it's gonna take at least like 4 or 5 retirements from Verstappen for Leclerc to be close to the championship. Constructors' championship, we can forget about it. I think Mercedes is closer to Ferrari than Ferrari is closer to Red Bull, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, those hopes are over. But World Drivers title very far away. Max is just on another level this season. Leclerc also, he's been amazing, but just Ferrari's holding him back so much. I I will email Ferrari right now. I'll email them my CV, which has nothing, and I'll ask for the head strategist position because I think I'll do better. I'll do it for free as well.
Just say,
You know,
I have motorsport
no
manager
wages.
experience. Please
I
hire me.
have motorsport manager experience.
Instantly more qualified than anyone at Ferrari.
I'm avid league racer who's done maybe like 5 league races in his life. But no, I think it's completely over
Yeah.
for drivers and constructors.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Rohan.
Ferrari, well, what works at Ferrari? That's the real question. Like the engines keep blowing up, the drivers keep crashing, the strategy doesn't work. The what else doesn't work? I mean, nothing works generally. So there's not much to say aside from that. Like, what do they actually do? Do they actually purposely make stuff that breaks or something? Like, I don't get it. Are they doing this on purpose? Like, are they really like trying to annoy everyone that supports Ferrari? I'm so glad I'm not a Ferrari fan. You know, I'm so happy I'm a Red Bull fan because I don't have to keep taking this pain every weekend. It's maybe once in a while, not every weekend. There's not a crash or an engine blowing up or some strategy.
relate.
Them pitting on like lap 3 because of the like. It's not. It's just stupid. You know. It's like I honestly don't think they do F1 or something.
So, Adam.
Just literally, unless like some witch doctor, curses Red Bull, or if any of the stuff in really 3D. I'm not sure if anyone's watched that. Actually, has anyone watched really 3D? That does the
No.
Okay, so I suggest everyone goes and watches that after because it's literally just a Spanish guy taking the mick out of Ferrari. Because what he put for the Ferrari strategy this weekend when they came into the pit was Ferrari doing a rain dance, hoping that the tires would work, and that's kind of sums up Ferrari. Because literally every meme from that video is them playing poker, having a barbecue, doing what Ferrari does. So I think they've screwed themselves over pretty much out of it, and they're not going to be able to recover unless somehow they sack the strategy team and then bring another one in. I think it's pretty much on to next year then. Ferrari have just done a Ferrari because I mean, like 2010, they lost the title due to strategy. 2012,
2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014.
Yeah, too much. It's not going to change, so they're out of it. That's the simple answer.
Fran?
I think that the championship is over. There's no way anyone can help recover this at all, because they've dug themselves too deep in a hole. They've lost 100 or so points just from either Leclerc screwing up or the car being unreliable. So I do not see any potential at all, because Red Bulls won't just drop off in performance immediately unless Ferrari come in with a massive upgrade package. It's not going to happen. So yeah, that's just what I'm thinking right now. It's too unrealistic for me.
Yep. And Oscar?
It's so bad. It's a fucking shit show. This has got to be like the 5th time that we've said this on the pod, but it's all over. It's over, and it's so sad. I mean, it's just a vicious cycle of driver error, strategy fuck up, reliability shot. It's just terrible. Like, fucking no. It's depressing, and the statistics are even worse. Mercedes are now, I think, one podium behind. Behind Ferrari. They have
They
one less
have the
podium.
same
George is
number.
right behind.
They have the same number.
Oh, it's the same
George-
number. Oh my
George
god.
and Carlos. George and Charles have
No,
5.
Lewis-
Carlos and Lulu. Lewis and Carlos have 6. Charles and George have 5. So they have 11
Yeah.
each.
That's. Oh my god.
Okay.
It's just not good. It's just not good. And I genuinely think at this rate, Mercedes are finishing second in the constructors, and Ferrari are going to be in third because the gap
Jeez.
is not that much. And if you look at Hungary, I mean, not to turn a bad situation into a good one, but Lewis would have won the race if his qualifying wasn't so bad because of the DRS issue. Just putting it out there. But yeah, it's over. I'm sad.
Yeah.
Next year's our year. Well, it's not even our year. Next year is Ferrari fans' years. I wasn't an honorary Ferrari fan for this year, after testing, and I regret every decision I made, and now I'm sad.
I mean, you just like literally every Liverpool fan. This year's our year, and then they end up disappointing. And then maybe in about like everyone.
Try being a Manchester United fan, then Adam.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I am one.
being a Mercedes fan right now is like being a Man U fan, but
Imagine
Liverpool
being
I mean,
a
at least-
Williams
Ferrari right
fan.
now.
What is a football?
Round thing.
Soccer?
We finished 17th every race. Oh,
I
guys,
mean-
it's a 14th place finish today.
Mm.
Your guy Lewis and Roscoe are now part of the Broncos, and the Bronco is a horse, which means Lewis
Hell
must be
yeah.
Ferrari, right?
That's
What
pretty
is a
good.
soccer?
I don't know either.
That is
Broncos
American
are-
football.
The
So-
Broncos are it's the Denver Broncos. They're an American NFL football team, and Lewis is now a part owner. And because a Bronco is a horse, clearly Lewis is signifying that he's going to Ferrari. with
Aren't
that.
Broncos bulls? Oh
No,
no!
No.
Oh no.
Oh no! Lewis to Red Bull confirmed. Fuck.
We can finally know who's
Yikes.
better.
So,
Oh.
does anyone have
Yes.
anything to say? Because we got next week's pod, which hopefully we'll get some answers on who's taking the Alpine, McLaren,
I
and
won't be
Williams seat.
here next week because I will finally be in my lab. So I will be back with you guys in September.
That would
because
be good.
I will finally be working, hopefully full time. And if I happen to be free, I will
Right.
stick around.
That'd be
But
good.
make sure you watch
Perfect.
the final Formula E race, which is a week on this week. It's
Oh my
next
god! Is
weekend.
that soon?
And it's
Yeah.
the final FE race of the season. It's in South
Jesus.
Korea. I didn't go to the British one because I was Rona'd.
Hey
but it was
Lucy,
pretty good. Sam,
has Giovinazzi scored any points?
no, so
Is
it was
Jovi-
so
is he even-
sad.
is
he
It
still
was
in it?
so sad. No, it was so sad.
Oh, no.
So he qualified third, which was by far his best qualifying of the year. And like, so the FE they have duels, so it's like you get
Yeah.
into the top, and then they duels, and he got through to the semi-finals of the duels, and then he lost, so he was third on the grid. He was doing really well, and then he had something happen. I haven't actually watched the race because what was I doing? I was watching because FE scheduled the races at the exact same time as qualifying in the race in Hungary, so I was
Yeah.
watching the F1. But basically, Giovinazzi was running really well in the points, and then something happened. I think he got a drive-through penalty, or his car broke, and then he didn't get any points.
Car
So
broke.
he has got
Too
0
much
points.
energy usage.
He did something. Yeah, it was over. Yeah, it was just energy. So he got a drive-through penalty and then ended up retiring. I'm pretty sure. Sam Bird broke his hand in the first lap of the race, and then still scored points.
He scored. Oh hell yeah! Sam Bird back on top. Let's go.
I love him. He broke the same bone in his hand is the equivalent bone to the bone I broke in my foot. So he did the same thing that I
Oy.
did with my foot.
Oy,
Just
oy,
with
He's
my
just
oy.
like
hand.
you for real.
It was this bone here, and he broke it on the first lap in a crash. Still scored points. But Stoffel Van Dorn is pretty much guaranteed to win.
Yeah.
And I
Stoffel
think
Van
I don't know
Dorn.
how it's gonna I don't know how that. I don't think it's gonna affect the F1 driver market at all because it's Stoffel. But I do like the idea of it affecting the F1. driver
Yes,
market.
please,
Oh,
please,
that
please,
was
please.
that comment isn't gonna go down well.
I
Lad,
swear to you.
Now that we're talking about other series, I better have a fat segment next time for the news.
Yes, yes, you do.
I have so much to talk about.
You do have a lot to talk about because we were like waiting for the Williams live news. Before Does anyone have anything else to say? Because I have one final thing to
Nope,
say.
nothing.
I want to wish a very
no.
happy birthday to a person we miss very much. Happy birthday, Jules. Obviously, passed away quite a while ago. It's his birthday today. I think he would have been 28, 29 years old. So happy birthday, Jules Bianchi. Rest in peace. Just wanted to say that. Obviously, the man.
Jules pour toujours.
Yeah. English translation, please. Pran?
English, por
Jules
favor.
forever.
Yes. JB17. So we will see you guys next week. Hopefully, Oscar decides on a seat. Daniel is still in F1.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I was like, what?
Me
And
too.
yeah.
I was like, what?
Choose
I,
wisely.
I have a seat, thank you very much. It's my desk chair.
Yeah.
Maybe firstly a webcam instead of having this wonderful tag that just says Oscar.
Oscar, yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, again, at the moment, my seat is currently my bed, and it's hardly the most flattering of lighting, so
Yeah.
chilling.
All right. Cool.
I mean, some people actually don't have a bed, so consider yourself lucky to have one and use it
Oh
as
yes,
a chair.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
All
If
right.
not, we may be seeing you on the floor next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
That'd be even better.
Thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you
Anyway,
for
let's
watching.
wait for the silly season to never end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seb, you beauty. All right. Cool. Thank you
I
very
love
much
you,
for
Seb.
watching.
Never leave.
My name is Shiv. That's Lucy, Manas, Rohan, Adam, Pranav, Oscar. Pratham was here. Now he's not. Thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you next week.
Thank you everyone
you.
for watching. See you later.
Bye.